So welcome, my friend. This is one of the interludes here. This is a brief lesson. Just want to cover a quick concept called visualization and how this pertains to your injury. Now, whenever you have an injury, you can in essence dial into it, tune into it like a TV. Now, I ruptured a disc about a year ago, and for the first week, I couldn't really move. I was stuck in cat pose and tabletop, just trying to feel my way around, and it was significantly limiting. I was trying to figure out what I could do just during the initial stages of this injury because the pain was still there. And I'm assuming that, especially if you have some sort of chronic pain, that this is at some level relevant for you. That the pain is still there, and the movement is getting no better, and all this reprogramming doesn't seem to work, and this is silly. I'm getting nowhere. So oftentimes at this level of someone, at this stage of someone's progress, they start coming up against a lot of obstacles, a lot of hurdles that quite frankly just need to be transcended through diligence. Now, a powerful method that can assist us in sort of bypassing a lot of these obstacles and start actually making forward progress with our injury is visualization. This is putting the mind at work to help the body rather than just relying on these little poses. So what I'm going to cover today is kind of how to visualize your injury. It's up to you to actually put this into practice. You can't just like read about this, learn about this. You actually have to do it. That's where actually you start seeing the benefits. So what you're going to do is you're going to do with the body scan. You're going to shape a conceptual box around your injury. You can actually visualize it in your imagination. You can shape this red box with walls and everything, and you make it big, and you move around that space. So let me explain. Everything inside this conceptual box that you visualized doesn't move. You immobilize this thing. And so let's say I have a spot here on my spine that I don't want to move. This really hurts. I visualize this box, I'm putting it there in a three-dimensional space within my perception of my body, through which I've now been able to develop through my body scan. Now your whole body moves around this, and the box shrinks as you continue to live and develop with it. You say, hey, I can't move my entire body. That's as big as the entire box. As you move, it shrinks. So what you do is you get to the pain point in the body scan. Then you shape a container. Then 3, immobilize everything inside that container and you move around it. And then 4, through practice, through continued diligent effort, you shrink the container. So if I do a body scan, I will find this like little spot where I cannot move because there's hurting or there's tension or something like that. And I'm going to be working on the support muscles around that injury. Now it's important, it's an essential detail here, is to make sure that you're giving everything you have in everything that you do. Being all in. So you're being all in on this visualization. What you do is you go in a body scan, step 1. You tune into that particular location of the injury. Let's say it's shoulder, or knee, or something else. Okay, I've got this in mind, that particular location. Even if it's just conceptual, that's okay. It'll become more and more real as you continue to practice. And then from that point, once I've visualized this, then I shape a conceptual box around that injury. It's like the walls of a castle. I can make it as vivid, as vibrant as I want. It'll always be different for someone else. For example, for me, there's colors, there's fire, there's flame, there's emotional sensations associated with this. It becomes very rich and very vivid as you like, as vivid as is relevant for you. And for most people who have entirely succumbed to the pain of their injury, their box of I can't move is like their entire body, and they don't get up out of the couch. But I'm assuming since you're moving, since you're engaging, since you're watching this series, since you're interested in material like this, that this little box will actually be a little bit smaller than your entire body. So we've got that little box here. We've shaped it. And then through the continuing to move and do the asana practice and engaging in everyday life, while keeping in mind those conceptual walls, what you can do is you can start noticing how in the immobilization inside that place, by making static that particular location, you move the body around that space, that over time you're refining your understanding of where those conceptual walls are, and then those walls start to shrink and shrink and shrink. And in so doing, the pain lessens, and not the pain doesn't just lessen, but you have more freedom to move. You're able to move faster. You're able to move in an even more dynamic and effortless way. And eventually it turns into just this little teeny dot of just this core source of the injury, maybe the disc or something. And then that over time has now, it'll disappear entirely because you've kind of dealt with the injury depending on the nature of your condition. But also what you've kind of done is you've said, hey, there's no pain outside of this particular spot. And all the conditioned responses that my body has associated with this pain, I've got the right support for this. I've built reinforcing structures. My neuromuscular system is able to support this little weak spot, this weak link. And maybe I can't do certain movements, but that's okay. I don't need to do that. I don't need to do jump squats or whatever it is that caused it in the first place. So, again, I want to suggest to you, invite you, and encourage you to start applying your mind consciously and actively in this way to significantly bypass any sort of hurdles that you might be coming up against, any sort of lack of motivation or anything. Bring this into play and start visualizing in your everyday life when you're sitting down, when you're doing stuff, these walls, whether it's a circle or a square or a cube, if you've got three-dimensional like awareness inside in your imagination, then apply this with the body scan. This is next level stuff. This is really upcharging your body scan practice. It'll take you to the next level. So my friend, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next lesson.